We appreciate it very much. Gorka, did I see the Gorka man? Yes, stand up, Gorka. Quick, get up. How good is he, Sebastian? Seb. They call him Seb. I call him Sebastian. Thank you, Sebastian. I just spotted you. It's lucky you're nice and tall.
I did a poll on my website. People want me to say Dr. G, though.
Oh, not in my heart. You're the Gorka man.
All right. I'll have to start making T-shirts.
Sir, we kicked off the show today with West Point.
Yeah.
Changing their motto from the words of Douglas MacArthur. And we played a good 5 minutes of MacArthur's speech just to drive home the power and the importance of that. And it's no longer duty, honor, and country, sir. It's now build, educate, train, and inspire. What's the problem? Why are you upset about that?
Well, because duty, honor, country are the three words that have been the summary and the perfect précis of what the most prestigious military academy in the world has represented. And everybody knows that. And why would you, the question is, why would you change that? I mean, and what have they left out? Well, it's the word country, right? It's the word duty. It's the word honor. So what are wrong with those concepts? And then you kind of now and again you try and do a sanity check. Is there really a culture war in America? And then when you find the Pentagon is doing that, there is no question. I mean, Andrew Breitbart was right. Politics flows downstream from culture. How do you change a political environment? You change the culture. What was wrong with representing and standing up for the country? Well, if you don't want borders, and if the country is bad, if it is a hive of patriarchal, cisgender neocolonialism, well, of course, you have to sabotage the very motto of the institution that is most identified with creating the next generation of military who will protect our nation's national sovereignty. So just when you think they can't get more egregious and in your face, they do things like this.
That's so right. I didn't pick up on the focus on the word country.
Yeah.
But that's definitely it. I made the point earlier. I think I may have stumbled on something. Let me throw it to you and see what you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So good, beautiful, and true. That's what we got to. And my argument is that the people who are dead set on destruction actually have a better radar for what is good, beautiful, and true than your average person, and maybe even than most conservatives. Because we could maybe walk past a sign at West Point that says "Duty, Honor, Country" and not recognize how truly wonderful that is.
Right.
And just walk by it and not have it changes. But the woke destruction person will walk by that and like do, and they'll notice, oh, that's good, beautiful, and true. It must be destroyed.
I like that. I think you're right. I think the good guys can so take these things for granted and even fall into the trap that, oh, that's so obvious. Well, of course. I mean, if you're going to be leading men into battle at the risk of your life, well, of course, duty, honor, and I mean, it's like kind of obvious, isn't it? And therefore, you don't even think, hang on, some lunatic could come around the corner and then dismantle that, as opposed to the other side. And for them, it's not that they, the radar picks it up. It's that it's offensive, right? To them, it is what duty, honor, but you're white and you've got white rage and you're heterosexual. How dare you? How dare you? Stand up for the principles of this civilization, because this civilization is itself evil. I mean, that's to them. I'm not trying to be facetious here. Is the trigger? They are triggered by the beautiful, by the true, by the good. Therefore, for them, it's always something that pops up on the radar screen to be attacked. I mean, think about what's happened. How did we wake up one morning And every element of the culture, every element of the culture, except talk radio, belonged to those who hate America. How is that possible? Because we took things for granted, because we just thought, I'm going to live my life. I love America, but I'm not going to do politics because, politics isn't my bag, and I'm just going to live my life. Well, when you have that attitude and you take things for granted, guess what? You actually feed the battlefield to those who actually have a plan because they detest everything you love. People don't think about what Andrew's famous saying goes. Every cool conservative can say, "Hey, Andrew Breitbart, oh yeah, politics is downstream from culture." But nobody's ever stopped, at least in the conventional world, and said, "Okay, what does that sentence mean?" And what that sentence means is really deep. Andrew didn't come up with that. Ancient Greeks knew this, but he just made it into a catchy phrase. What it means is any issue that matters, whether it's life, whether it's the border, whether it's education, whatever it is, the Second Amendment, by the time it arrives to this stinking city, to Washington, D.C., it is settled. It is done and dusted 20 years before in the schools. No, in Hollywood, in the media. It is done. You're not going to settle a political issue on Capitol Hill. You're just going to dicker around the edges because it was decided, on cable TV. It was decided on, social media years ago. And this is why, for them, it's a literal trigger to assault and dismantle. And for us, we've kind of just taking it for granted.
That's it. So good. First of all, done and dusted. Great throwback to your England days. I think that's a term we should bring into America.
Is that British? Done and dusted?
Yeah. My British friend, or at least my British friends use it all the time.
That's funny.
That's all I got. That's all I know. Yeah. So I keep going back to the even suggestion, the offhand suggestion, let alone proposed bill in Congress, that we should have illegal aliens in our military. The idea that is even a thought is like, we're like way past healthy.
Go to the last week. So I'm always super cautious because you know me, I hate conspiracy theories, and when I see something really crazy, it's like the first rule of reporting from the battlefield: all reports from the battlefield, all initial reports are wrong. So when I hear something crazy, I wait 24 hours, and then somebody before my show early morning sends me this memo from the Department of Veterans Affairs banning the photograph of the GI kissing the nurse in New York at the end of the war. Say, oh, this is misogynist, and this was what would you say? This was a sexual advance that was not permitted, not consented, right? Yeah. And I looked at it and I said, this can't be true. This is just insane. The letterhead looks kind of homemade on Word. I'm going to wait, and I need confirmation. And then sure enough, I wait 6 hours. Everybody's reporting it, blah, blah, blah. And then 6 hours later, what happens? They got caught. It was a made-at-home letterhead, but by a deputy at the VA under Biden, this woman who hates heterosexuals. And then the secretary realizes, oh, crap, we've got an election in 8 months. The president's giving a State of the Union in 48 hours. I didn't authorize this. Of course, that lovely photograph of a man kissing a woman is not being banned from the VA. But then you realize, think about what person says a man kissing a woman, and the story's really sweet if you research it. The man's wife was standing behind them. He kisses this nurse because a nurse has saved several of his buddies in theater from dying, and they just declared victory in Europe, and he kisses this nurse to say thank you. They stayed friends till the day they died, despite the fact that he was married, and then this has to be banned. My God, are you a cultural lunatic? And this is the Biden administration.
They went back like in the 80s and reenacted the kiss at the same spot before.
Right.
It's like everyone. So we played a clip of John Muir, ABC Nightly News, which is the #1 news like by far. Like it crushes like all like Fox News shows or whatever. It's great, which is like a weird thing that broadcast news is still like a thing. But it was 2019. The man passed away, so they did a little kicker story tribute at the end. And John Moore looks at the camera. He's like, oh, what a wonderful image that is. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago.
Right.
And now we have to ban it. Like light speed changes that are
Well,
happening.
let me tell you, that's the good news. That really is. So you go back and you play the clips of Obama saying, "Oh, a marriage is between a man and a woman," or
Yeah.
Biden saying, "Every abortion is a tragedy," and this is awful, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I mean, literally, we've gone to killing the baby after it's born, according to Governor Northam, and then the transgender thing is actually leading to the mutilation of 12-year-old girls at Boston's Children's Hospital. And then you think,
So where's the good news?
Well, the good thing is the red pilling of tens of millions of people who didn't pay attention, who think politics isn't their bag. I mean, think about it. There's a reason, my wife, who hates politics because she's sane, ran for local office, is now the chief election officer in our district, is now running for the local chair of the GOP. My wife, is involved in politics? Yeah, I'll tell you what the trigger was. 3 years ago, there was a drag queen story hour for children at the local community center. And she said, not happening on my watch. So it's like a good friend of mine, Austin Ruse, said, it's a great time, despite the insanity, it's a great time to be a Christian. It's a great time to be a Catholic. Why? Because sainthoods are ripe fruit on the bottom branches of a tree, because there's so much evil out there. We are in a target-rich environment where you can be a hero every day by what? You don't have to pick up an M16 or an M4. You just have to tell the truth.